What is going on, everybody? I'm back again in the garage, and I promised you guys on Instagram that I'll be making a video on how to boost your VQ. So this can be a DE rev up, HR, and VHR. So this goes across all pretty much the same turbo kits. They all share the same engine family, so it's pretty much going to be the same thing. So what we have is you can boost your car either supercharge or turbo. So it all depends on what your goals are going to be. So we'll go through the supercharger quickly. So for supercharger, you're going to have like a belt. It's like basically a belt driven turbo. So you're going to have a supercharger that's right here is like a bracket that attaches to the front of the engine. And that bracket has its own belt system here, which comes around and goes all the way to the crank pulley and stuff. That is known as the Vortex kit. The Vortex kit is the most popular turbo. Sorry, not the Vortex. The Vortec V3 and V2. So V2 is oil fed from your oil pan or some sort of source, and the V3 has its own oil, and it's right here. Most common kit for the VHR, HRs, you have not HR but VHR. You have a Stilling kit, and you have like, I think there's like a whole entire different intake system here. I think it's a single throttle or something like that. I'm not too sure, but it goes around like that and then uses the coolant to cool it. But you can also do an air-to-air kit, which I recommend, having a big air cooler to cool down all that air. So it all depends on what your goals are going to be. Your power in this sense is going to be all the way in the top end. As RPM rises, the supercharger is going to spin more and more air will go through there into the engine. Now, you're going to have a lot of heat in this area. So you have the engine's right here, the heat's right here, right beside it. So VQs already run hot as it is, just stock. So it helps getting an oil cooler, obviously, right? But then you're still like, oil cooler, you can get a bigger radiator, but still, like, you still have the fact that you have a lot of heat in this engine bay. And this goes across both turbos as well. But supercharger, I'll be talking about first. So yeah, in this area right here, your supercharger will sit, and then you would have a lot of heat in this area, which causes heat soak. And that blower is sitting right here, and unless you can put the piping all the way down there and have it draw cold air, you could do that too. But still, a lot of heat in this area, right? So you're gonna have to get a supercharger kit, which you can get used, right? They're cheap. They're a bit on the cheaper side when they're used. Brand new, you know, they're both pretty much almost the same price. So I do recommend, if you're trying to boost your car, it all depends on your goals, right? What you want power wise, right? But through what I've experienced and what I've seen, I've been in the car scene for about 7 years now, 8 years. And I've seen a lot of guys for VQs go supercharger, and always, most of the time, they go end up doing turbo, right? Because it's just way more fun. The power just comes in more, and it can hold it for longer, and it's more efficient. That's why people always do supercharger first and then turbo, right? So let's jump into turbos now. So now you can do a single turbo kit that I have. This is from GRN Performance. You can buy a single turbo kit from them. Or you can run a twin turbo setup, which is one right here and then one right here under where the headers are, obviously. Like kind of like a GTR almost. Same thing, same position. Most V6 twin turbos are like that. You would have your turbos feeding their oil and coolant. So you have a return and a feed. So you're going to be running both sides, return and feed, return and feed. Twin turbos are great, but you will be limited to the size of the turbo. As in a single turbo, you can run it underneath the car. You can go big as a 6871, or I think maybe even bigger than that. You can. I'm not too sure if you can hit the 70 range. I think you can, but yeah, man, that's a benefit of a single turbo kit. So single turbo kit, in my opinion, is the best turbo kit that you can get for this platform, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's what I think. That's why I did it. And you keep that good sound. When you have uneven like piping in your headers, that's where you get that raspy, like non-VQ no. It's really, really like, it sounds like a mosquito, I like to say. And it sounds very, very weird. I don't know. It's not something that I would do and I would enjoy. So, you know, Rev 9 turbo kit that they have, and then they have like, you know, those eBay kits. They're all pretty much the same. It runs like you run slimmer fans, and the piping goes down here, and then you would like, I don't know the exact details. It's been a while since I've been doing research on the turbo kits. When I was doing research like 2 years ago, when I was doing all this, yeah. So that's your turbo kit itself. That's just the generic. This is gonna be a very generic thing. I'm gonna be going over, not in too much detail. If you want me to go into detail, I can do a video for that. But very like, this is just how to boost your VQ. So those are your options. So boosted performance, you have what I recommend, GR performance. You can do I think AAM and Greddy, and I think there's one more. Forgot the name. But those are the other like turbo kits that you can get. I already went through the supercharger kits. And then obviously when you're adding a turbo kit, you gotta have more fuel, right? You have more air in the engine, you need more fuel. So you're gonna get bigger injectors and a bigger pump. Now it's gonna be up to you if you want to do a return fuel, because these are returnless. It's better 1-to-1 ratio for your fueling, and you can have a pressure gauge in the engine bay, and you can monitor their pressure there, and you can actually diagnose things pretty quickly. What I did was a stock block setup. I didn't want to do crazy power at first, so like my plan was just to gradually get into the power. So put the turbo kit on, see what it does, and just run a pump and injector setup and see what it makes. So obviously further down, when we do a built motor, we're gonna do a return. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to do a return. It is beneficial. You can do an injector pump kit too. But you'll be limited to the amount of power you can make. But you can still run a pump setup on injectors, like a good 400, 450, even 5 maybe. That is going to be about the fueling. Injector dynamics is like the only go-to that I would recommend. I don't know, they're just really good. And the fuel pump wise, I went with Detchworks fuel pump. You can go with AEM, you can go with a bunch of other ones. I just went with Detchworks because it was a plug and play. You didn't have to do too much modification. You just put a fuel pump in there, and you just connect the wires. There's already a plug there. You just connect it and just call it a day. So you'll be doing fueling, and it's gonna be up to you if you want to run Meth or E85. Over here we don't have E85, so I put a Meth kit in here. It's in the trunk. Meth, and then obviously you need your gauges, right? You need your gauges. So what I have here is a AEM True Boost X gauge and AEM air fuel ratio, and oil temperature, oil pressure, and coolant temp. I just want to monitor everything. It's good to see when you're like doing pulls back to back, and you'll know what your temps are, which is very important when you are boosted. So here, all these are X series gauges, so they're pretty expensive, but I went with X series. The response time is better, and it's just the best lineup you can get for your gauges. In my opinion, that's what I did. You can go with cheaper gauges. That's just up to you. All right. You will be having, so you're gonna have more pressure in the head. So you're gonna have to get a good catch can. I went with the Dynasty catch can. It's just made out. You can make your own if you want to be honest. I just went with this one because, you know, it's just, they give you this plumbing for it, and it's easy install. But I had to delete my front coolant line that carries over, so I have a cap right here. I don't know if you guys see it right there, and capped off that one. So it just crosses over. It's just a crossover pipe. You can delete it. It's fine. You're gonna have to run bigger tires. because you want to be able to hook, right? So suspension too, recommending suspension, you know, as you're going on building your car. I'm pretty sure that most of you guys watching me already have done fuel modifications. So yeah, suspension mods, you know, upgrade your sway bars, do your differential bushings, you put the power down. And what makes sense, like, you know what I mean, like these bushings in the back, they always tend to rot out and break. They're old cars now, so recommended to do it is recommended that you upgrade the bushings and you do the subframe collars. That's what I did. I didn't do the bushings yet. I will do it soon. Diff brace, bigger tires in the back, you know, a little bit stickier. I'm running a 2.8 right now. These are on winters, but I usually run a 285 35 19 in the back and a 255 35 19 in the front. So in the back it was a Cooper tire RS3G1 in the front as well, but I'm gonna be getting another tire, maybe a Michelin or something. I am thinking about getting a different wheel setup and then just have a stickier tire on that. What else you need? You're gonna have to upgrade your spark plug. So you're gonna be having more heat in the engine. So what I went with was a different spark plug. I have the actual plug here. I went with these ones. So my tuner recommended me getting these ones here. So these are actually out of a Subaru, I think. But yeah, this is I think they're 7. Yeah. You can go one step colder, but they're rated number 6. So these are 7, so they run even more efficient. And I had to gap them at like 0.022 thou. So I had to do that for the DE though. For the VHRs, you can just run GTR spark plugs, and you're good. You're golden. You're gonna have to upgrade obviously your MAF sensor. So I just upgraded to UpRev GT MAF. So for VHR and HRs, you have 2 throttle bodies, so you're gonna have to get 2. Or you can, I don't know, I think you can run now like actual like map sensor, like you do some conversion back there, and you can just run a map instead of MAF, which is really cool. Because for this one, you do this, or you have to actually get a different ECU, and then that would actually run it has an internal map sensor. You just run a vacuum line that goes all the way to that ECU, and then it just gets the data off that, which is really cool, but it's also expensive. So I just went with the MAF sensor here. Upgraded GT MAF. Brakes, you can run Brembo. Yeah, the Akibonos are solid brakes for your VHR guys. For the HRDE, we have the Brembos. So they're solid. 4-piston brakes. Can't really go wrong with it. Running all different kind of hardware, hoses and all that. Routing all the wires. You know, you're going to have to buy extra wire here and there to extend it, because the one that comes with the gauges, they're not long enough. So you're going to have to, like, you know, fish them through and extend them and bring them over. What I have is a fuse box in the quarter and the underneath the cowl there. So it's running off its own like system. It's not cut into any other 12-volt wires that are actually in the vehicle. You can do that, but I didn't want to go that route. I just wanted to separately just run its own thing here. I upgraded my radiator, Koyo radiator. It helps out a lot. I do recommend doing this because you guys probably are watching either have like the OEM radiator at least, but over time, you know, that does get blocked up and gets old and cracks. So just recommend doing a Koyo rad. These are solid, man. They're made in Japan, so you can't really go wrong with that. I have a Z1 oil cooler that's 25 row. Really good kit. I went with a different sandwich plate. I didn't go with the one that they sell with their kits. I went with, I think the name was Chase Space. I can run my one temperature, one pressure gauge off that, and it goes up to the, all the wiring just goes up. Exhaust, motor line exhaust, you're gonna have to get a full exhaust from there. So like the exhaust gets kind of like tricky when you're doing a single turbo. Like you gotta have to get like a custom downpipe. Your Y pipe would end right here, and then the downpipe would just go to that section of the exhaust. When you're doing like a twin turbo, you still have that Y pipe there, and then you just attach it to the I think where our pipes go. But I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not experienced with that section of the engine for a twin turbo setup. I'm pretty sure you can still use test pipes. And then you just go up onto the exhaust, the turbo manifolds. How can I forget? Transmission. So what I have in my car, my OEM, whatever tranny was in my, originally in my G35, it started grinding third. So I just got a CD09 transmission and it's been solid. CD09 was only made in like, I think mid 05 models to like 06, 07, and that's it. And you guys with the JK41, JK40s, they're solid too, yo. You'll be fine. They're pretty strong transmissions as is, but you will be having to upgrade your clutch and your flywheel. So just get a good kit. I highly recommend Z-Speed. They make good stuff. He's been making clutches for so long for this platform, so get a high rated torque clutch because you'll be making more power, so you do want to have no clutch slip. Other than that, I think I went through everything that you do need for your turbo kit, and like when you want to boost, obviously. Oh, how can I forget? So you're gonna, and after all of this has been installed on the vehicle, you're gonna need a tune. So tuning, you have two options: rev up. I'm sorry, not a rev up, man. Up rev and EcuTech. So for the VHR guys, HR, I think they make EcuTech for DEs as well now, but mine's an 03, so I don't think they have that support for it. The ROM, I think the ROM or the ECU is too old for that kind of software, which I think you can't use the phone, but you can use a laptop. I'm pretty sure you can do for 03. I haven't looked into detail for that, but you are gonna need a tune. The tune can vary around like 1,000 to 2,000. Your turbo kit can vary from like a used supercharger kit can be like 3,500 to like 6K, 7 maybe. A brand new one would be like 7, 8K off the shelf, maybe more. Turbo kit itself, you're looking at like 7 maybe to like 12. Depends on where you live, right? The currency changes. Fueling, injectors itself is like $1,000. You're looking at, set of 6 injectors. Set of 6 injectors, you're looking at about $1,000. Then you're looking at a fuel pump, that's another $200. Fuel system return, that can vary up, that can even go to like 1,000. I think 1,000 or $500. I forgot. I'm just guessing off the top of my head from what I remember. Clutch, my clutch kit, I got it on sale. I got it for about 700 USD with the whole flywheel and clutch kit. You're looking at, so yeah, a clutch typically you're looking at $1,000. And then obviously if you're not doing the work yourself, you're gonna have to send it to a shop, and then labor rate, labor's not cheap. So unless you can do it, I highly recommend you just learn yourself, right? And just try the best you can do, and you'll save money there. I work on cars for a living, so it's easy for me to just do it. And then with the, have a buddy with you, it'll help a lot. You guys do it together, and it does cut the time a lot. And when you're doing it by yourself, it just like makes it so much longer. So I think I went through everything, pretty much it. Meth kit, you're looking at about $600 maybe. Gauges, a good set of gauges, like these Series S gauges, they're like $200 to $300 each, depending on the function they do. Like the temperature ones typically are about $200. If you're looking at like a higher, like a boost controller kind of gauge, you're looking at like 350 maybe 400, depends. And it does add up. So boosting these platforms are not cheap at all, but you have to look at like other platforms too, right? Like their stuff isn't cheap either. So boosting in general a car isn't cheap. So it all depends on where your goals are going to be. To be honest, I do highly recommend it. You'll learn a lot. You not just like working on the car, but you develop a lot of patience. You learn quite a few things, and you can pass it down to the community, and you can figure things out, and you'll have fun too. because when the car is running mint, it's the best thing ever. So I think I've been rambling on for too long now, so I just want to get to the point of the video, is how to boost your VQ. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'll make a story, and then you guys can vote on what you guys want to see next. So make sure you guys give a thumbs up, man, and thank you again for watching the video this far. Hope you guys see you guys in the next video. Thank you again for watching.